What are signs that there's some tension between you and someone? Story number 1. I was attracted to this guy I worked with, and I would do my best to keep it professional and not throw too much flirting, but he seemed really shy, so another reason why I wouldn't push it too much. I would catch him looking at me and instantly look away when he'd see I noticed. We'd chat about work, and times it would get a little quiet and Kinda would just look at each other and get back to work. Okay, maybe he has interest, I thought. One day I told him he was cute and didn't get much of a response back, so I thought, okay, maybe he's not interested, I'll drop it. Totally fine. One day he talking with someone I thought was a customer. He was helping, it happened to be his GF, hence the kiss they quickly exchanged in front of me. That day I was kindly reminded not everyone is single and lonely as I am, lol. I was so embarrassed I couldn't help but laugh at myself and feel bad I was flirting with someone's BF, not even knowing. I mean, forgive me, we don't walk around with labels on our foreheads. I instantly apologized to him later, letting him know I was completely unaware if I ever flirted with him, lol. Sometimes men can be very confusing at reading. Story number 2. I once woke up naked in a woman's bed after a night out. We were snuggling and I started initiating sex. She said, "Careful, if you keep doing that, I'll end up having sex with you." So, as a smart man, I stopped, thinking she didn't want sex. Otherwise, why the hell would she tell me to be careful? I got dressed, chugged a liter of water, and hailed a cab home. I may or may not have taken that signal the wrong way. Story number 3. After a gathering at an acquaintance's quite hot brunette place, while we were all getting ready to leave, she asked me in front of everyone if I wanted to stay a bit more. I've got a few envious looks by all the males in the company and said, "Sure." She proceeded by suggested we watch a movie. I said, "Sure." She selected Wild Things. I said, "I've seen it, it's not that great." She suggested again the original Sin with Angelina Jolie having hot sex with Banderas. I said, "Yeah, it's an alright one." She put it on. Sometime close to the middle of the movie, with me being as awkward as possible, she stretches her legs and says, "Oh, this is the good part. Oh God, I so miss having a good sex," while looking straight into my eyes, not even blinking. So, I replied casually, "Well, you're great, I hope you can find someone that can cover that." At this point her expression was a combination of disbelief, disdain, and confusion. She switched off the movie and just said, "I'm tired, you should leave because I need to get enough sleep so that I can start looking for that guy by tomorrow." I left. Story number 4. I worked with someone like that. She always had excuses for coming by cube every day. I didn't mind it at all. If anything, sort of wished she'd do it more often. Don't dip your pen in company ink, I know, shut up. Anyway, she made excuses to talk to me, complimented me a bunch, sometimes put her hand on my wrist when we talked, held eye contact with me longer than she did with other people. When she did that, I noticed her pupils dilate a bit, while her breath became shorter and her pulse rate picked up. Usually sat next to me during company events like lunches or Christmas parties or whatever, and other behaviors too. No, none of that stuff was lost on me. She was an amazing woman, and literally the only reason I didn't go for it is because we worked together. Story number 5. I work in a Catholic hospital. Some years ago, I was approaching a young nun in the hallway. I knew by her habit she hadn't taken final vows yet. As we got closer, she raised her eyes and looked straight into mine with a little smile on her lips. Per protocol, we didn't speak, but I smiled back. As I passed her, her sleeve brushed the back of my hand and it felt absolutely electric. I kept walking but turned to look, and there she was, looking back at me as she walked as well. I don't know if the sleeve thing was intentional on her part, or if she did it just to mess with me, or a complete accident, but it was the look back that put the hook in me, and for whatever reason I felt more sexual tension. Please God, don't send either of us to hell between us in those few seconds than I have in a long time with anyone. I never saw her before that day, and I haven't seen her since, and given the circumstances I am pretty absolutely positive that, even if I were single, looking her up would be a huge mistake for both of us. But that chance encounter is burned into my memory, probably for the duration. Story number 6. I'm so glad I'm a girl. I can just ask and always get a yes. Even if it's a no, I'm pretty certain the man would be flattered and nice about it. Maybe standing a little too close, like not being a close talker because that is annoying. But if you're both looking at something standing, a little like a few more inches closer than what's customary. We all have our space. And it's socially acceptable to be only so close. You sort of know when you're close enough, but if you just push that boundary like by the inches, and he doesn't move, light, casual touching. Like if you already have his attention and you think of something you meant to tell him but forgot. And you're like, oh, wait, listen to this. And you do a light multiple finger touch on his forearm that isn't necessary, because he is already looking, and let it linger for 1 second longer than your instincts say. And then low-key sexual innuendo. Super suggestive language. But innocently. You will definitely get a red from his response to that. This is less about flirting and more about the reaction you notice from this stuff. And when you accidentally brush against him, do so with your breasts only. And wait for the response. Story number 7. Met this really pretty blonde girl at work. I work in IT and she was in Ma. She would often call in to get something fixed even though she knew how to fix it herself. One day, after I was done fixing her PC, she asked if I would walk her out to her car, asked if I was seeing anyone, and asked what I liked to do on our way out. I didn't ask for her number. A few more times after getting called to our office, her coworker said, "She really likes you, like a lot, you should ask for her phone number." I laughed and said, "Yeah, okay," thinking this girl is way out of my league, her coworker is messing with me. Walked past the girl and we said bye. Her coworker runs out into the hall after me and says, "Get your ass back in here and exchange phone numbers." Well, it's been 6 years and I've never thought I could be this happily married to the girl that still is out of my league. Take the hints, fellas, and always shoot your shot. Story number 8. Okay, check this out. Maybe y'all can figure it out. Last year there was this check cashing place where I went to pay my electric bill. It was usually staffed by a little old lady, but when I went in this time, there was this ridiculously hot woman there. She had this aura, this vibe about her that was mesmerizing and also very warm. She smiled a lot and laughed even more. I went up to the counter and there was an eye contact moment that damn near had me gasping for breath. It took me almost 25 minutes to pay my bill because we started talking and joking and laughing and generally acting like we really enjoyed each other's company. When I left, I felt like I was coasting on a magic carpet about 3 feet off the ground. Over the next 6 months, this behavior continued. I watched her with other customers and she was still awesome and friendly, but not the way she was with me. She had also started asking me what I was doing over the weekend, yet I still held back from asking her out. Finally, the day came when I was in there and we were busy being in our own little world, and she starts singing this Beatles tune, "I want you so bad, I want you so bad, it's driving me mad, it's driving me mad," while, giving me a smoldering look. I sang it back to her with my own smoldering look and then left. All the way home I was berating myself like, "You complete gaping ass. Why? Why did you do that?" I got home and asked my roomie and his GF if it sounded like this woman was into me. Roomie goes, "Dude, why didn't you make a move?" His GF says, "Women don't do things like that if they aren't into you. Go back there and ask her out. If you don't, she won't give you another chance." So I fucking did just that. She gave me the biggest smile and said, "I really want to." I do, but unfortunately I quit on guys and now I'm in a relationship with a woman. I don't continue trying to hook up with women after the first no. I just don't. Plus, the "I'm a lesbian" response is known to be a major dodge women use to avoid a dude. Except, when she's really a lesbian. So I went no problem and turned to leave when she says, "Wait. There's no reason we can't go out and just see how things go. My GF and I have an understanding. Here, take my number and call me later tonight or tomorrow." So I did. She answers, says, "Hey, can I call you right back? Someone is at the door." Sure. No problem. I hang up. And I never heard from her or saw her again because the next time I went in there, she was no longer employed there. Men, just what the eternal fuck. I could have sworn that I did not misread her intent. I even had a woman tell me so. And I know I was not being stalky or creepy because I bent over backwards and sideways to avoid that. Yet, this shit is why I no longer even pretend to participate in mating rituals. If I can misread a sure thing like this, I got no chance.